Alright, in this video we're going to talk about one of the most important rules in math, distributive property. Um, Here, one of the major problem is um, when you multiply, maybe you're not taking into account the signs. Second, you're not multiplying the outside by everything on the inside. So those are basically the two major issues that I hope to fix with this video here. So let's go to the distributive property here. You see the goal of the distributive property here is for you to get rid of the parentheses here. That's basically the main goal. And that's how you're going to simplify it. So in this case, this is basically like the coefficient here. What you're going to say is that the outside, you're going to look into the outside and then you're going to look into the inside. You have two terms. Your goal is to multiply the outside by everything on the inside with the signs. In this case, because this is the formula that I'm going to use, everything is positive, so there is no problem. But let's go over it. So you're going to say here first, A times B, which is basically going to be AB plus A times C, which is AC. Remember that. The main goal is multiply the outside by everything on the inside. The first major problem is if you get careless that you're only going to multiply the first one, the first term here to get AB. And for some reason here, you might say just plus C. So be careful. Multiply both of them. But before we do that, one of the major problems here is when you multiply, you need to know these rules. They are really simple. Basically, when you multiply a positive times a positive, you get a positive. A negative times a negative, you get a positive. Positive and negative, you get a negative. And negative times a positive, you get a negative. So if you look at it clearly, the best way for you to remember this is just to say here that the only way possible to get positive is if both signs are the same. You see, if both signs are the same, you're always going to end up getting positive. But what happens if both signs are different? Then you're going to end up getting a negative sign. So keep that in mind anytime when you basically are distributing. So let's go here to the first one. 5 parentheses x minus 5. Clearly here, so that you get used to it, when you go to the inside, if you notice there is no coefficient. When that happens, just put a 1 there so like that you get used to it early. And what I'm going to do here is just basically follow the formula. I need to multiply these two here first. And remember what I told you before. Let's go to the rules. 5 is positive, 1 is positive. Since they're both positive, you're going to end up getting positive. 5 times 1 is 5. So that's what you're going to end up getting here. 5 times 1x is basically going to be just 5x positive. Now, the second one is going to be now 5 times negative 5. But once again, look into the signs. That 5 is positive, and this 5 inside here is negative. So the signs are not the same. So that implies that it's going to be negative. So you're going to put a minus sign here. And now you should proceed to say 5 times 5, which is 25. And that's basically your final answer here. If you notice, in this case, I already explained to you before, if you get careless, you might say here 5 times 1x is only 5x, and then just minus 5, which is wrong. Make sure you multiply both of them so that you are able to get an answer. All right, let's move to the next one. Negative 2, parentheses, 2x plus 5. Just like before, you need to start with these two here. And also, don't forget the rules from here. you see this is negative and this is positive, so clearly they different. So in this case, you know you're gonna end up getting a negative in the beginning. So take that out of the way. And now, what is 2 times 2x? 4x. See, you finish with that one. You have your sign. Now you should move to the next one. What is the next one? Negative 2, right? Times plus 5. So again, this is negative and this is positive. Since they're different, you're going to get another negative there. And what is 2 times 5? 10. And this is basically the end of that there. Now the next one, the last case that I'm going to explain here. For some reason, students, they get confused when they don't see a number outside. But I already explained to you earlier, when there is no number, what is that you're going to do automatically? You're going to put a 1. So clearly, this is like basically telling you outside you have a negative 1. So I'm just rewriting this so like that you don't get confused. And here, once again, what we're going to do is just basically follow the distributive property there. So let's start with these two here. And just like before, don't forget the rules of the signs. The outside is negative and the 5 is negative. So they're both negative, so what happens? You get positive. Keep that in mind. So what is 1 times 5? Positive 5x. Again, negative and negative give you positive, and 1 times 5x is 5x. When you multiply by 1, you always get the same thing that you multiply with. And last, negative 1 times positive 2. Since these two signs are different, right away you're going to say minus. And what is 1 times 2 here? 2. And this is basically the end. So again, my advice to you is to keep in mind basically the rule. Remember, for the last time, the outside gets multiplied by everything on the inside. And then second, so that you avoid problems, make sure that you take into account the signs that you have there. So hope to see you in the next video.